and welcome back to another video. My name's Destiny and I do book things here. So it is actually a Friday when I'm filming this. I am supposed to be working, but my computer is updating, so here we are. Yeah, so today I thought I would do my top. I'm gonna do 6 books that I've never seen on Bookstagram or BookTube, but I absolutely love. Some of these I read a really long time ago, and some of these are pretty recent reads. But yeah, let's get into it. So, say hi to Salem. I've moved my house around, and she's really enjoying it. And the baby just woke up, so she's going to go see what the baby's doing. But so first on my list is Not the Girl You Marry by Andy J. Christopher. I read this really recently. It is like a rom-com story where you have our main protagonist. I'm trying to remember her name. Hannah. Hannah is her name. Hannah, she is biracial. She works in the wedding industry, and her boss tells her that she can't be like top dog of the company because she can't keep a relationship, and she's very bitter when it comes to men. And then Jack here, he has to write a column on how to lose a woman in like 10 days to get to be a reporter? No, my brain's not working. Basically, he wants to stop writing advice columns and wants to be an actual journalist and do investigative journalism. There it is. And so they start to use one another and don't tell each other what they're doing. And it kind of plays out from there. It was really good. I love the biracial representation because Hannah does talk about how she is very, very hesitant to date because biracial women are used as a experiment, or what are you is the question that we get asked a lot. And so that is referenced in here. Andy herself is a biracial woman, and so I love the own voices in this. And if you like rom-coms, you would love this. Next on my list is The Invisible Life by Elan Harris. I have actually never heard of this author or this book. From what I understand, it's a huge deal in the LGBT community, the African American LGBT community. He has since passed, but he has wrote a lot of books, and I've been going down the rabbit hole. But The Invisible Life is about Raymond Jr. He goes by Ray. After a night with a football or a teammate, he comes to realize and struggle with the fact that he may be bisexual. And this book really goes in detail of his struggles with being bisexual and what does that mean for my life with my girlfriend. What does that mean going on in my life? Like, does it change who I am? Have I always been this person? Was I only this person because of this one man? And it just kind of documents his struggle and him trying to find acceptance and accept himself. This was a 5-star read. I did a whole review on it. It's not a very good one because I ramble a lot, and I cannot get my thoughts concisely out of my mouth a lot of the time. But I absolutely love this little short of a book. If you are part of the LGBT community or have ever struggled with your gender identity or your sexual identity, I highly recommend this book for you because it sums up the struggle so well and so eloquently that I could never do. Like I said, I have trouble getting words out of my mouth, so I could never sum up the eloquence. See? I could never sum it up eloquently like he does. The same thing with Not the Girl You Marry. Could never have summed it up either. Next is Inescapable by Amy A. Bartrell. I have never seen this listed, but if you are a millennial, see words, who loved Twilight, Hush Hush I've seen compared to this. Fallen, I read Fallen and loved it. You would love this. It is basically about Morgan, or no, is it not Morgan? Oh, her name's Eve. Yeah, her name is Eve. I swore her name was Morgan. Excuse me, Eve. And Evie goes to college. Her parents have passed away. She lived with her uncle, and her uncle have been figuring things out. And so now it's time for her to go to college, and she ends up going to a small school in I think it's Michigan. I'm not 100% sure where the setting is. I wonder if it tells me. No, it doesn't tell me. Oh, I'm right, it is Michigan. Found it, second page. Go me. So she goes to school in Michigan. And at the freshman barbecue where, they try to get you into college life and get you to meet and network and, try to get you comfortable, she ends up meeting Reed, who is downright rude to her and is almost cruel. And she's like, what did I do to you? I don't even know you, dude. And Reed is just downright cruel. She also meets, what is his name? Russell? I think his name is Russell. I'm pretty sure his name is Russell. I'm gonna do this a lot. I know. I've read this. It was so long ago when I read this, and I have sticky notes all of it. I'm pretty sure it's Russell. And Russell's really kind, and they become fast friends. But Reed is always rude to her. Every time they come in contact, he is just downright cruel, and she can't figure it out. And that's where the story goes from there. I'm not going to tell you more than that. I will tell you there is a supernatural spin to this, but is it good? It is so good, guys. I love this when I read it. I actually have the second one on my shelves and just have not had the chance to get to it. My brain has not wanted to consume this kind of media, but I highly recommend it. If you like Twilight, if you liked, like I said, some people I've seen it compared to Hush Hush in reviews. The baby is talking. I apologize if y'all can hear that. I've seen it compared to Hush Hush. I've seen it compared to Hush Hush. I've never read that one, so I can't speak on that. But if you like Twilight, or if you liked Fallen, you'll love this. I would also kind of put this in the realm of Mara Dyer, because a lot of the first of the book, Evie has no clue what's going on, and things just keep happening to her, and she's like, what the hell is going on? It's not as she's not as unaware as Mara is in the Mara Dyer series, but I would compare it to that as well. So if you like that series, you would love this. Next, number 4 on my list is Devil's Demise by Lee Cochran. Now, this I'm going to put heavy content warnings for rape, sexual assault, violence, and overall just icky feelings, because she does not shy away from that in this book. But is it good? Oh my gosh. I was sent her first 3 novels for review, but I can't stop talking about. I've read the first 2. The second was harder to read than this one. This one you're following a serial killer. I believe. Yes. Okay, I was trying to make sure he was a serial killer. You're following a serial killer, and you flip out from his point of view to the detective's point of view. And our detective in here just happens to be a lesbian. Obviously, you see why I gravitated toward and was like, yes, when they offered it for review, because it did mention that the author, I believe, its own voices, because the author is a lesbian as well. So I was like, yes, I will take it. Anything with a woman-loving woman, I will probably give a chance, because why not? Oh, I love this so much. So the serial killer's point of view is so hard to read as a woman, because he is downright cruel, mean. He goes into detail what he is doing when he is murdering these women, his misogynistic and borderline racist thoughts. It goes into all of that, and you're just sitting there, and I couldn't put it down. I remember sitting in the bathtub for almost 3 hours finishing this novel. I read the last half of it in the bathtub. I just couldn't move. And my ex-wife came in there, and she was like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. I need to finish this. Just go away. And sat there for 3 hours. Knowing I had to work the next morning, knowing I needed to have my butt in bed, I was still wrapped up in this. And it was awesome. I have no other words. It was awesome. If you like Criminal Minds, if you are a fan of, I would even say NCIS a little bit, but if you're a fan of Criminal Minds, you will love this, because kind of how it goes into the mind of the killer for you, and you get to see the perspective of the killer a lot. This does that real well, really, really well. And the two voices between our main detective, which is Taylor, I had to look at the back to remember her name, between Taylor and our serial killer are totally different. Now, the second one, if you pick this up and you love it and you think, okay, she's recommended the first one, maybe she recommends the second one. The second one, I put heavy content warnings on children, violence against children, crimes involving children, because that one does have a lot of that in it, and I read it before I had baby girl. Now, I don't know if I could sit and read through it, because it's hard. It revolves around the pedophile ring, and so again, she goes into a lot. She does not shy away from the violence. She does not shy away from the realities of these crimes. She doesn't in that one either, and it can be hard to read. The third one, I'm not sure what it's about. I haven't had a chance to pick it up. March is going to be nothing but a thriller horror month for me, so I'm definitely picking it up then, but I love this. And look at those eyes. Are they not creepy? I love taking pictures of this book because the eyes seem to follow you. It's awesome. The second one is called Porcelain Dolls, and it has a porcelain doll on the front of it, and it's so freaking creepy. That one's actually called Porcelain Dolls because the killer in that one is killing the pedophiles. Like, the pedophiles themselves aren't killing, they're killing the pedophiles, and they leave a porcelain doll face, like part of a porcelain doll at every crime scene. And oh, I'm telling you, these are so good. If you've not ever heard of her, which I hadn't until I was offered her books for review, I highly recommend them. Please pick them up, because they are so good. Okay, let me go get the baby up. Okay, back with the tiny human, and I guess she's going to finish doing these videos with me because I have 2 more to film. So, next on my list is Mayhem Murder in the PTA by Dave Carvins. Again, this is another one that was sent to me for review, and I absolutely fell in love with this book. This follows, it doesn't even, Parker gets, basically is fired from her job. She was a journalist, and she notices that, I believe, people start going, oh yeah, okay. So she gets ends up in the middle of a media storm. She's in the middle of a divorce. She's a single mother now with 3 kids who has to move home with her mother. And all of a sudden, the principal of her kid's school gets murdered, brutally murdered. And so she's trying to figure out who did it, what's going on. And the simple life isn't so simple for Parker. This is so good. As you can see, I tabbed the heck out of this. This was another one that I accepted for review. It is a self-pub. Oh, I believe it's a self-published book, but honestly, I loved it so much. If Dave is watching this and you write anything else, I'd be more than happy to read it because this was so good. I related so much to Parker and her struggles. I read this before Tiny Human came along, of course, but I did relate a lot to Parker, and I loved this story. I'll leave a link below. I believe you can buy this on Amazon. Again, it was sent to me for review. But I loved this so much. It was so good. This is another one. If you like crime shows, you would like this. If you like, I wouldn't say detective stories because I don't really do detective stories very well. The last one, the one I just talked about, the Devil's Fire, I liked it because of the serial killer in it, not so much the detective. This was more like amateur sleuth trying to figure it out. So if you like that kind of stuff, you'll love this. If you liked, I'm trying to think of any other books I've read that I could compare to this. if you like Good Girl's Guide to Murder, or see, I don't read very many of these, so I couldn't. There's a Lisa Jewell I read. What was it? The Guest List. You would like this. It's definitely very like amateur sleuth, trying to figure out what's going on. You're kind of lost, she's kind of lost, and you're figuring it out together. That's this one. I absolutely loved it though, and I've kept it on my shelves because it was a 5-star read. And then lastly, I have a YA book. Most of these have been adult, but I have one that's definitely YA, and it's very unheard of. I had never heard of it until I got it in a book box. And I think that was the Bookish, nope, I don't remember what book box it was. I usually keep the bookmark in here for it, but I'll look it up. I'll leave it tagged below if I find it. It's the book box where you get 2 books a month for $10, and they send you backlisted titles. And that is Harrison Squared by Daryl Gregory. I wish he wrote a second one. I have not checked recently. When I read this, he was still working on the second one, but hadn't finished it. This is a Cthulhu retelling, but in YA. And basically, Daryl he has to move to his town, and I believe it's because his parents... No. Okay. His mother moves them. It's him and his mother. His mother's a biologist. That's what it is. And he's called Harrison Squared because his name is Harrison. And they end up moving to this little bitty town in the middle of nowhere, and crap starts happening. I read this in one sitting. I loved it. I didn't tab it. This was before actually I started annotating. This is before I started BookTube too. But I loved this. I was looking for the second one. Again, he hadn't wrote one yet. I don't know if he's wrote one now, but it was really good. This has a Definers vibe to me. If you like that one, you would like this one. It's much shorter than that one is. If you like magical realism, I think it's Everyone Sees the Ants by A.S. King, if you've read that. If you've read any A.S. King, from what I understand, she does magical realism really well. That's kind of like what happens here, because you don't know what's going on, and it leaves off on a cliffhanger where you want to know what's going on, and nothing has been figured out yet, and it's kind of just where it leaves it off, because again, there's not a second one out yet. But if you like that kind of novel, you would like this. This is very much... It is a YA, so he does make stupid mistakes, and there's no teenage angst, which is something I will start mentioning in all of my YA reviews and where I talk about YA books, because my best friend, that's the reason she doesn't read YA, is because the teenage angst gets on her nerves. And so when I recommend a book that's considered YA, I always like, there's no teenage angst, I promise. There's none of that, I'm mad at the world angstiness in this one. So there isn't in this one. It's actually really good. Yeah. So again, if you like the Diviners, I would say even Tommy and Enemies, Children of Blood and Bone, you would like this. It all has that fiction kind of writing to it. But yeah, so I highly recommend this one as well. Those are the 6 novels that I have on my shelves that I absolutely love, that I have never seen talked about anywhere on the internet. This tiny little tree frog and I are going to check my computer. Let's see if it is loaded. Probably is by now, and I'm going to go to work, but I thought I was down from this video for you guys beforehand, and yeah, I will see you on my next one. Bye guys. Say bye. Say bye.